in the room here. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. When I was a young boy, I used to admire a plaque on the wall of our hallway without understanding what it was. It was a plaque that had a couple of crossed gavels, and it said Toastmasters. I had no idea what that was. I thought it was, the name Toastmasters was hilarious. What's a Toastmaster? My father never really explained it, never really asked him. But when I grew up, after I graduated college, the bug to learn more about what Toastmasters was kind of became part of something I wanted to really get into. So in 1983, I joined the Toastmasters Club in Founders District, which is in Santa Ana. While I was working as an accountant, I went Toastmasters, and I did that for a couple of years, but I didn't stick around. I got through about the first manual, maybe the second manual I got halfway into, and I did a little bit of leadership, but I really didn't understand what Toastmasters was about. Most of the reason laid with the fact that I didn't have a mentor. There wasn't anybody that was really helping me. I was just doing the program. I felt like I was doing it on my own, even though I was in a club like this one with others. The purpose of a mentor is to help encourage and guide somebody along their path in Toastmasters or in any other venture. After I became disabled, I had a lot of time on my hand because I had retired. After about 13 years, I decided that it was time for me to explore a little bit more about what it is that I could do with my free time. I wanted to expand on the ability for me to communicate and get my ideas across. My wife always told me that I was way too much of a talker. I needed some outlet, some way that I could talk. What better way to find an outlet than a place where you can talk? And people will listen, oh my gosh. I sought out Toastmasters, and in 2011, I found a club called Specialty Toastmasters that met at Specialty Labs in Valencia. When I joined the club, I was greeted warmly, and this was a group of people that were very different than my first experience. Right away, I realized that I was in a group of people that were, it just felt different. One of the things that I liked right away was there was a leadership, there were officers in this club that really had a strong feel for what they were doing. And they were committed, there was some passion there. I was told that I had the opportunity to choose a mentor. This is in 2011. And at that time, I didn't really know what a mentor was. And when I explored it, I found out that I could choose anybody in the club. The president of the club at that time was Grace Itsuko Lee. When I saw her speaking, and I could feel what she was getting across to what her messages were, and as she led the other officers, I felt strongly that that was the person that I wanted to have as my mentor. Miss Lee was a passionate Toastmasters member. She was committed to helping me, guiding me in certain ways that just inspired me. I got through my Competent Communicator Manual, my first 10 speeches, within about 9 months. And a lot of it had to do with her. Within about a year after that, maybe 2 years after I joined, she actually left Toastmasters. But her inspiration not only inspired me to continue and become a distinguished Toastmaster within 5 years, but there were many times after she left the club, that I would call her. She wasn't even in Toastmasters, but her influence continued, and I would call her because I looked up to her and I wanted this knowledge. I wanted the wisdom to spill into it was like a litmus test to really get going and to move on. And that's when I excelled and got to, like I said, got to my Distinguished Toastmaster. I'd like you all to meet my mentor, Grace Lee. Stand up, Grace, there you are. I'd like to read to you something that she told me about her experience as a mentor. I liked mentoring because I learned a lot by teaching others. When I joined Toastmasters, I was still learning how to speak and didn't feel comfortable mentoring others. I soon learned mentoring helped me share my knowledge with the person I was mentoring, and if I didn't know the answer, I researched it and we learned together. The experience helped me in my workshops and interpersonal relationships. What you gave me was invaluable and has led to a long career with Toastmasters. I've been an area director twice now. I've been a club officer many times, and I really enjoy this entire experience, and I owe it all to you. Thank you very much, Grace Lee.